it's Pierre. So I have here 4 new 2018 Dunlop Squash Rackets, and I'm about to do a roundup video of all these rackets, and including my personal preference of which one I like the best. In fact, I'm going to put them in my ranked order of which ones I like best to worst. I'm doing separate reviews individually of all these so you can catch the measurements of how heavy they were and a few more details if you want to just drill into a particular racket. But in this video, we are going to look separately, or look all together, at the Dunlop Precision Elite. That's just the green one with the 14x18 stringing pattern. The yellow is the Dunlop Precision Ultimate. This is a 2018 version of this, and it is 16x19 stringing pattern. Also traditional head shape. The other precision model is called the Dunlop Precision Pro 130. This has a slightly smaller head shape. You can see the blue one is in the back, and it's got a smaller head shape compared to the Elite and the Ultimate. Still traditional head shape. And finally, we have a new teardrop model. This one's called those 3 are the precision models, and they have this Dunlop Hyperfibre material embedded in the frame now this year. That's one of the changes. This racket is called, this is part of their Hyperfibre range. They call this the Dunlop Hyperfibre Revelation Pro Lite. This is a slightly modified version of the Dunlop Hyperfibre Revelation Pro, which is the Ali Farag racket, which came out last year. But Dunlop's introducing this to their lineup in 2018 along with the precision models. So I'm going to try all these 4 out, compare them for you, and hopefully this helps you if you're deciding between them or want to learn more about them. Big thanks to Phil from Dunlop for providing all of these rackets for me to review for everybody. Thanks.
Alright, so of these 4 rackets, my favorite was the Dunlop Revelation Pro Lite. That's the only one of the 4 that was from the Hyperfibre range, the only one that was a teardrop. And it's a little bit unfair, I guess, because I'm currently playing with a teardrop racket already. It's another Dunlop, the Evolution, which came out last year. So honestly, this racket just felt a little bit more immediately comfortable to me. But I did like the overall setup to it. It wasn't as head heavy as the Ali Farag model, which came out last year, and so it felt a bit more maneuverable in the back corners. But it felt like there was something on the shots when I was swinging through them. It was actually a little bit lighter than I thought, because it felt a little heavier in my hand than it actually is on the scale. And I don't know what it is. I think it was a touch stiffer than the other rackets, and for whatever reason, I just felt like control in all areas of the court with this racket. So that was my favorite of the 4. My second favorite of the rackets, it was a little bit of a close call, but I picked the Dunlop Precision Pro 130. This is the one with the smaller head size. When I was practicing with this racket, just doing some solo hitting, I thought it was pretty good, but it wasn't until I started playing with it that it kind of rose in my estimation. I think it's when under pressure, having that smaller head size, it just feels like I have more control over my shots. And when I played with the Ultimate, which I'll talk about in a second, it was great in practice, but when I got it on court, I was making errors, and I just didn't feel the same sense of control. So this was a close call between the Pro 130 and the Ultimate, but ultimately I went with the Pro 130. My third favorite racket in this Dunlop lineup was the Precision Ultimate. This was traditional head shape, a little bigger head size than the Pro 130. And when I was warming up with this thing, it just felt so good all around the court. Straight drives, touch on my drops, things were falling into the nick, lobs were feeling nice. I sort of rarely have a hit with the racket where I think, wow, I just have phenomenal control, everything's dropping in. The problem was that when I actually got into a match, it just, I wasn't feeling it. And I don't know if that's a matter of getting adjusted to it or what, but once I was under more pressure, I was making more errors. Maybe it was because I thought I was, superhuman or something, and then once I got it on court, I was trying for too much. So I think that I would get used to this racket and play a more consistent game with it after practicing with it for a little bit. I also talked to Stuart, who's one of the pros at my club. He uses an older version of the Ultimate. I believe he uses the one from 2 years ago, which he loves, and he had a hit with this and thought it was fantastic. He strings his rackets at a really high tension in the 30s, and I was using the factory strings here, so even though the strings were quite different, he really liked the new frame. So this will have its fans out there. So my fourth favorite of these 4 rackets was the Dunlop Precision Elite. This is the same frame size as the Ultimate, but has a more open stringing pattern. It also felt like the weight of this racket was much further to the end of the tip of the head of this racket, as opposed to the Ultimate, which felt more smoothly balanced. When I was warming up with the Elite, I noticed that, and I kind of liked it. I thought it was interesting. It was helping me carve out my shots pretty well, and I was enjoying it, and I was thinking it was going to be maybe even my favorite of these rackets. But for whatever reason, once I got it on court, I just felt completely at sea with this racket. I was not able to, it just didn't feel right in my hand. So I think some of that's just going to be taking time to get used to it. So the Elite brings up the last of these 4 Dunlop rackets. And so those are my top 4. We've got the Revelation Pro Lite, the Precision Pro 130, the Precision Ultimate, and the Precision Elite. So thanks again to Phil from Dunlop for letting me test out these rackets for everybody. Hope that was helpful, and I will talk to you later.